Hello, Libra. Welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie, and this is your July 2022 Tarotscope. If you're curious about the decks that I'm using today, you can find a list of them in the description box below. You can also find links to my social media accounts, as well as links to information on personal readings and the Soul Good membership channel on Telegram. I'm super excited to jump in today, Libra, and see what's going on for you for the month of July. I have 4 decks that I'm going to be using to be looking at what is being activated within your life, how that might show up, clarifying that, and then also getting some messages from your angels. So let's jump right in and see what you have going on. Let me start by saying, I feel like for some of you, I have this energy of almost, I don't know, like there's like a shakiness in my voice, which is really interesting. So I feel like for some of you, you may be experiencing a little bit of difficulty around expressing yourself or showing up in front of people and like expressing yourself or speaking your truth or something. There's something here about not being able to or not feeling confident in what you would like to communicate or what you are communicating, right? Or maybe there could also be like some anxiety in what you're sharing, right? Or maybe you're like recently got into public speaking or something and you're not super comfortable with it yet. Something like that. Maybe you started a YouTube channel and you're like, oh my gosh, like I do not like the sound of my own voice. You guys, it's really hard to get used to. For those of you that are thinking about it, like it really is hard to get used to. I refused to listen to my readings for a long time. So, I just want to say, like, if that could be something for someone as well. But let's jump in and see what the cards have to say. So please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, what does Libra need to know about their activations that they may be experiencing this month, July 2022, please? What does Libra need to know about the activations that they may be experiencing this month? Beautiful. One card out for you. I love it. That tells me that it's very like clear, right? Very clear. How might this okay. I didn't even have to say the words. It's like, how might this show up? Boom, there it is. All right, can we get some clarity on this? How might this show up? Can we have clarity, please? Thank you. Can we have some clarity? I feel like there's more. What else does Libra need to know about how this activation might show up in their lives, please? Thank you. Okay, yes. Is that it? Yes, okay. And what messages do Libra's angels have for them for this month, please? July 2022. Thank you. That's it I'm getting. Nice. So Libra, your reading is like straightforward, straight to the point. I love it so much. So the activation that you may be experiencing this month is the Divine Matrix, Interconnectedness, Synchronicity, and God Incidences. So what I'm really picking up here, and it's kind of funny to me because I feel like, how do I word this? I feel like for some of you, you may kind of be in this energy of like, is this even real? Right. But I feel like for some of you, you've been experiencing like a lot of like angel numbers or sounds, right? Like bumps and things like happening, right? Or maybe you've been having like very vivid dreams or like psychic dreams, or maybe you've been getting like clairvoyant messages like dropping into your field, right? And it's interesting because even as I'm trying to talk about it, like the energy is like, oh, I don't know what to say. Because I feel like it's almost like, I know I'm not crazy. Like, I know I'm not seeing things, but like, what is this though? Right? Like, I don't know. For some of you, that could be relevant. However, I do feel like for many of you, there's this energy of kind of seeing the interconnectedness of all things, right? You do have interconnectedness here, and this is the divine matrix. And so with combine that with this energy of like typical, I don't want to say typical, but Libra energy, right? Being fair and balanced, and also being very like harmonious, right? And polished, essentially. I feel like there's some kind of energy here about like looking around and realizing like, hey, we're all souls here. Hey, we're all trying to do our best. Hey, we're trying to like be fair, but we're all afraid. And people who are afraid do silly things sometimes, irrational things sometimes, right? Um, I had this fear energy come up for me, Libra. I'm sorry, I do want to apologize if that was loud. Fear manifests as like burpy energy as I'm doing readings. And I feel like there's this understanding of like, none of us really know what we're doing. We're all scared. We're all afraid. We're all afraid. And I think there's almost a sense of like compassion in that, right? Like some kind of understanding where it's like, I feel like it actually kind of hurts your heart a bit, really. If I'm like, I just got this like weird pain in my chest area, and it feels like there's this, I don't know. I feel like it hurts your heart because I feel like I don't know, this may be for somebody very specific, but I feel like you're seeing other people and knowing that we're like all just afraid, and people do irrational things when they're afraid. And I think you're kind of looking at it like, this doesn't feel good to me. And I feel part of that is like the truth aspect that is Libra. Like the fair aspect that is the Libra. I feel like it's just almost like a puzzle piece clicking into place with this divine matrix card. I do feel like you may have been experiencing like heightened synchronicity throughout the month. If you haven't already been experiencing this. And I feel like for you, it's interesting. Like, I feel like it could be something, yes, it could be like repeating numbers, right? But I also feel like it could be something as like you keep seeing like the same thing everywhere. So you might see it on like a billboard, and then you see it on like an advert on the side of a van, and then you see it on TV, and then you see it in a dream. And then like it's just a lot of repeating things. Let's see how this might show up. The Wild Rose, do it your way. Embrace your uniqueness untamed. That's interesting. Yeah, because I feel like there's this is beautiful to me, because the energy that I'm getting is really this energy of like you seeing the uniqueness of people and just seeing the beauty in that, right? Like really seeing the beauty and how unique people are, and coming to some sort of understanding or appreciation of how beautiful that is, that uniqueness, not only in other people, but also in yourself. I feel like there's some part of you that may be starting to see those differences and finding them beautiful, because it's what makes life interesting. It's what makes life unique. It's how we're all connected, but not the same, right? Like, I feel like there's like this philosophical type of energy around you right now. Let me know in the comments if that rings true for you. Like if that resonates with you, because it feels like there's, I don't know, there's something here about that feels very philosophical to me. Right? Like, yeah, isn't this funny? You also have here whispers of Mother Earth, creativity, ideas, inspiration, artist, writer, and channel. Right. So I feel for some of you, it's interesting because I said you may be hearing sounds, and then you have this like whispers card, right? Pretty interesting. I feel like that's just confirmation for me. and confirmation for somebody else as well out there in the YouTube world. But it's interesting because you have got incidences, and out comes this whispers of the mother talking about creativity and ideas and inspiration. And I feel like there's these God incidences I feel that occurred that have like helped you to find these like things out about yourself. I feel like for some of you, there's been like these synchronicities that have occurred that's led you to say, I don't know, building fairy gardens or something. Like I don't know what it is, right? But it's like maybe you kept seeing something or kept hearing about something, and then a friend talked to you about it, and then there's something happened and you figured out somewhere you could go to like try this new thing, right? Like I just feel like there's something synchronistic about somewhere that you've been led that brings out a sense of creativity in you, that brings, inspiration and ideas, and like brings out the more artistic side. It's really interesting to me. But it does kind of go with that like kind of philosophical type of energy that I'm getting, because I'm getting like very like, I don't know, maybe you keep a journal about the world and how you perceive it or something. You also have here Mother Rose, returning to each other. Look at this, compassion and humanity. You cannot make this stuff up. You really can't. Right? Like I said, I feel like you potentially could like be finding yourself being very compassionate towards people and just seeing them for where they are, and like understanding, like just letting people be. Right? Like, okay, that's where you're at. Cool. I'm gonna let you be there. Like I'm here. If you want to, move somewhere else, that's fine. But I feel like there's a sense of compassion. I feel like, again, like you may look around and it may like hurt your heart, right? I feel like it may hurt your heart to like look around and see people hurting, people lying, injustice. And I know that's kind of like cliche to say maybe, because you're a Libra, but like it just feels to me like there's a sense of looking around and like, I wish I could just fix all the things, right? I feel like sometimes you may even like take a deep breath like I just did. I don't know if you heard that or not, but like it feels like there's times where you do like this sharp inhale, a sharp inhale, and you're like, oh, okay, Lord. Right? Like it's almost like you need to do it to like keep going, or to like, I don't know, bring some faith back in or something. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is you showing up for you, Libra. Justice straight out the get. Like, it's interesting, right? The tarot comes out, and here where I'm talking about, there's this energy of like truth and being fair and seeing beauty in the world and like all the things. And I feel like here you are, like, yes, this is what we're talking about. I feel like you're wanting to see the world more balanced, right? And I feel like part of this comes from that interconnectedness, like understanding, like, if the world is shit, it's shit for all of us, not just one of us, not just a couple of us. And I think that's something that we've learned through the past couple of years. So it's interesting. Oh, there's like some sort of alarm going off. That's really interesting to me, especially because you're like the justice energy, and there's an alarm going off. That's really interesting. I don't know if you can hear that. I think it may be like a weather. Yeah, testing the weather alarms, probably. But there's something there. I feel like there's something here important. You also have the moon, which is beautiful because this is really fall. I feel like this is like, I feel like you're following your intuition in a very truthful kind of way. Like I feel like you've gotten very honest with yourself about what you feel and what you think, and like how you see the world and things, like, right? I feel like you've come to this space, and I feel like there's some, like, it's helped you to like see through a bunch of bullshit, and I feel like you are discovering that, I don't know, like it's almost like there's this energy of being balanced between like logic, like your headspace, right? Being an error sign, and your emotions, right? Because it's like they're both here. Pisces, or this is Cancer, or excuse me, Cancer is ruled by the moon, and as we know, Cancers can be sensitive and emotional, right? Like, I feel like there's this balance that you have been working on achieving or will work on achieving during the month of July, where you're trying to find this balance between your head and your heart space. Like, okay, I want to feel the things, but I don't want to feel the things, right? But I also feel like you are choosing truth as well, whether that's your intuitive truth, whether that's truth you see with your own eyes, like evidentiary truth, or if it's simply you seeing through the illusions in people's bullshit, right? I feel like you're seeing the truth of things, and I feel like it's changed your perspective in some way, shape, or form, because I think there's too many synchronicities to ignore. I think there's too many things that you've seen to ignore. And I feel like there's an understanding of the need to have a balance between your headspace and your heart, or your head and your emotions. And you also have, yeah, look at this, the Fool. So all major arcana cards here for you, Libra, which I feel is very important, or an important detail rather, because this thing like tells me that you're going through a tremendous change right now. And I feel like this change is trying to lead you or take you to a new beginning with the Fool card here. Right? I feel like you want to experience a world like in a state of wonder. I hope if that makes sense. Like, I feel like you want to look out at the world and just be in awe of its beauty and its glory, versus looking out into the world and like seeing the things that maybe aren't necessarily pleasing to you, and then sinking into that and allowing it to alter how you feel or what you experience. You may have even experienced an awakening recently where you're just kind of like, wow, I never knew all this, and it's really changed my life tremendously. It's allowed me to see things truthfully from my own truth, to see through the illusions, and I've now chose to start again with this knowledge, to build a new foundation, to do it the way that I feel called to do it, right? To experience creativity and inspiration, and to allow things to flow through me and out of me that maybe I didn't before. You also have compassion, right? Like, I just feel like there's this space of approaching things from a different point. And this alarm is going off again. I'm fairly certain that we don't have a weather alert. I just want to say, so you're not worried or anything. Um, but I feel like there's something important here, right? Like, I feel like this is a big change for you. Thank you, Lord. I feel like it's interesting. I got this message of like the alarms have went off, in the sense of you've awoken, right? Like, you've started your awakening. The alarm bells have went off, is the message I'm getting. I'm also getting a message for some of you you may say something similar. A typical phrase you would hear is like, I saw all the red flags for some illusion or some fuckery. Excuse my language, but like, that's the word that's coming through, like some kind of nonsense. And the alarm bells went off. Like, you may have said it, like, all the alarms went off. Like, I knew I should not follow this thing, go this route, whatever it is. Right? So I feel like there's some of you that have experienced an awakening. All the alarms went off, and here you are, third eye wide open. feeling all the things. And for others of you, it's this energy of like being able to see through the nonsense, right? And starting again, like starting from a position where you trust your intuition because you know that it rings true. It showed you all of the red flags, right? It's really interesting energy. And you have take time to breathe. Your angels want you to take time to breathe or to let you know that you can take time to breathe. It says, "Thank you, angels. I breathe with ease knowing you're here." Right? So I feel like this is really about you. Like, it's okay to breathe. It's okay to breathe. It's okay to take time for yourself. It's okay to let yourself feel the things, right? It's okay to, I'm getting this energy of like, almost like shake it off, right? Like it's okay to kind of shake it off and experience a bit of fun. Something I want to share with you is this. When I started to really experience an awakening, and this was before I really knew what was what was happening. Like I didn't realize I was awakening, okay? I went deep down the rabbit hole, like deep down the rabbit hole, and gained knowledge or learned about things that were horrific. Horrific. It's the kind of stuff, it's one of those things where once you know it, like you can't unknow it, or once you see it, you can't unsee it, type of things. And there was a point where I'm like, how can I just sit here and like be okay or be happy or smile or anything when I know that this type of thing is happening? Right? Like it was a wild trip. And I feel like there's this energy here of like, it's okay. Like it's okay. You know the things. If this resonates with you, you know the things. Like it's okay that you know the things. It's also okay for you to breathe, right? It's also okay for you to breathe. It's also okay for you to be compassionate towards what you now know, right? Towards humanity. But like know that it's okay for you to breathe. It's okay for you to smile. It's okay for you to enjoy yourself. It's okay for you to have fun, right? I feel like I need to say that for someone, okay? The bottom of the decks for you, Libra, is Akashic Stargate aligned with purpose, crossroads, no wrong path. Yeah, I feel like this energy is like the Stargate has opened up, right? I feel like you are aligning with purpose. I feel like you have things that you experience that are part of why you're here, right? I feel like it's like part of your soul plan. And I feel like you're at this stage for some of you in your journey, like let me know if this resonates, but for some of you in your journey, I feel like you're at this stage where you're just like kind of learning things. Right? Like I feel it's interesting. It's almost like if you've ever, went to college or university and it's like what do you need? Okay, I need the prereqs. Like I don't even know what my area of study is going to be. I just need to do the things. Like I just need to get the things out of the way. I feel like for some of you, you're in that space right now where there's just things that you got to get out of the way. Like it's not necessarily taking your path in any different direction or taken any longer or anything like that. It's just there's things that you have to heal and deal with right now. And it's all part of your growth. Like it's all part of like the prereqs, as it were, before, you really move more into your soul purpose and all that stuff. I feel like you're aligning with it, right? And you may even have started to feel called towards like certain or specific things, right? Like you do have creativity, ideas, inspiration, artist, writer, and channel here. Maybe you started getting called towards like having a YouTube channel, which I talked about in the beginning, right? That like my voice feeling kind of unsure. And then like it could also be that you, right, like I was saying, like maybe you like get up on a stage or have gone up on a stage for the first time. Like I feel like there's this inspiration for you to do something that maybe you haven't done before or didn't really focus a whole ton on. Maybe you just did it as a hobby or something, right? But it's like aligning you with your purpose because it's part of why you're here. There's a reason why you're attracted to or drawn to that thing, whatever that is for you. It's interesting. You also have here rapture, sensuality, love, devotion, romance, ecstasy, and pleasure. Okay, so I'm getting a couple of messages here. For some of you, I feel like you may be very strong believers in the rapture, or you were at one point. Maybe you changed your mind, maybe you haven't. And for some of you, you may find what this card is about. I don't know, you may like unsubscribe or something because I don't know. It's the energy I got and I shared it. Like, I don't, I'm just the messenger. So it doesn't really matter to me. I'm not attached to any meanings, right? But I'm just saying, for some of you, you may find it offensive because this is a card of like rapture, sensuality, love, again, devotion, romance, ecstasy, and pleasure. I feel like this is, for some of you, this is something I feel you're missing, right? Like, I feel like you feel like a lack of this kind of ecstasy, pleasure. I feel like for some of you, there's this energy of like, things don't taste the same. Like, for example, if you've been awakening, right? Like, or just started awakening, and you like, oftentimes what will happen is your vibrational frequency will rise and you will become unaligned with a lot of things like people, jobs, food, freaking music, all sorts of stuff, right? And I feel like for some of you, there's this almost like things don't taste the same. Like, I'm not getting pleasure the same way that I used to from like whatever things, from like certain foods or shows or indulgences or whatever it is, right? And I feel like this is also part of your growth. It's a lot, you guys. It really is a lot. If this resonates with you, I'm holding space for you because it's a lot. For others of you, I feel like there could be this energy of a new approach to how you experience a life, right? It is at the bottom of the deck, right? So it's something that you don't see or aren't aware of, or maybe didn't know, something like that, or maybe don't see coming, right? And I feel like, I don't know why I just got this, but for some of you, the answer to the question you've been asking is love. Take that how it resonates with you. If it does, if it doesn't, leave it where it's at. But for some of you, the answer to the question you've been asking is love. It almost feels like it's a part that you're missing, right? Like, or a detail that you're missing out on. I don't know why. That's so weird. Maybe you've been indecisive. But again, I feel like it's something that's missing, right? Like love and pleasure, like the pleasure of life, because you have the sun here in reverse as well, right? Which is another card of pleasure, but it's like a blocked energy. So I feel like, yeah, there's something here. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's fear that's keeping you from enjoying pleasure or enjoying the pleasures of life, indulging in the pleasures of life, right? Maybe it's fear. This could also be an energy of like, like negativity. So it could be, for some of you, maybe you have this perception of the world as like, again, right? Like, how can I be smiling when I know these things? Or like when I see the things that I see and notice the things that I notice, like, how can I just pretend like everything's okay? But it's like, you have to be able to recognize what is your energy and what is not. And then also to deal with that energy as you experience it. right? Versus ignoring it or pushing it down, or, you know, doing the whole positivity all the time thing. Like, no, if I feel like crying, like I'm going to cry because I want to get the energy out. I don't want to hold it in my body, right? I don't want it to manifest physically in my body as disease or illness or anything else, right? So it's like I need to get that out. So if I feel like crying, like I'm going to cry. And it's, I mean, I want to say, like, I don't feel like I'm very much more emotional than I was before I made that kind of choice about my life and what I want to experience, right? So I feel like for some of you, you're holding on to negativity, right? Like maybe you did experience pleasure and things before, and then truth came out, and there was some things that maybe weren't so great, and you had to start over, right? But like you're missing out on all the good things. So take it as it resonates with you, okay? Take it as it resonates with you. You also have here loved one in heaven. Thank you, loved ones in heaven, for drawing close to me at this time. Again, this is a really interesting energy because I said you may be hearing noises, things like this, right? Like experiences, having experiences. And then we got that whispers of the Mother Earth. And I was talking about like maybe hearing noises like in other rooms, things shifting about or whatever. And now you have the loved ones in heaven or loved one in heaven, right? So again, I feel like spirit is communicating with some of you, right? I feel like you do have support in the other realms. And I do feel like for some of you, you are even talking to these people. For some of you, it's like this. It's reminding me of, I don't even know what the movie is, and I'm sure there's a dozen of them that are very similar, right? Where there's like a teenager who has unfortunately lost a parent, right? And they have like their picture in their room, and they like walk by and they're like, hi mom, or like good night mom, or good night dad, or whatever, you know, something like that. Like I feel like we've all caught glimpses of or watched movies like that at some point. Um, if not, I'm sorry. Right? It's what came into my mind. So, but I feel like there's like kind of like that kind of energy. I have a picture of my great grandmother, and I'm like, hey Gram, like there's times when I talk to her, I'm like, just like, hey Gram, like I miss you, right? Like, so I feel like for some of you, you do this already. Like you communicate with them, and I feel like they want you to know that they're close to you. Or if you've been asking, right, like, is so and so close to me, my loved one, I feel like this is confirmation for you. This is also a card for me of like God showing up, right? And again, like you may be somebody, I got this energy of, you know, somebody who believes in God and who may go to church and pray, or, you know, believes in God and prays at the very least, right? You may be somebody like that, and you may talk to them then or pray for them, right? Like, and I feel like I need to tell you, like, they're there. That could be for, I feel like that's for some very special people. And you'll know if it's for you or not. Okay. But I want to thank you so much for sharing your time and energy with me, Libra. I truly am so very grateful for you. I hope that something in this reading resonated with you or was valuable to you in some way, shape, or form for the month of July. If you found that it was, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, and or subscribing. It helps the channel to grow and lets YouTube know that there's something here that people might enjoy watching, so they recommend it to more people. So thank you so much for doing so. I really do appreciate you. I hope that you have an amazing, amazing month. Remember that you've got this and God's got you. Take care of your beautiful soul, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.